Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. As you can see, Vince Carter, a failed and disappointing career. And I want to do a video on this guy because I always make videos about LeBron James, the NBA, Michael Jordan, different guys, Anthony Edwards, and somewhere in between, Vince Carter's name always gets brought up. And I tell you guys, this guy had the most disappointing career. And that's not based on solely not winning championships, like a Karl Malone or a John Stockton or a Reggie Miller, or some of these guys in the '90s, or maybe some guys in the '70s, like the Iceman, guys like that. It's not just about championships, right? I would say it's about just his overall career, his abilities. Let's just say that his abilities. Nobody's seen anything like that since Michael Jordan. No, nobody's seen any abilities like that since Michael Jordan that Vince Carter possessed. And the guy was pretty much he could have been unstoppable. He could have been unstoppable if he worked on his game, been a leader. And this is the problem with a lot of these guys that went into the 2000s. They weren't really leaders, right? These guys were, I don't know, man. They just came from a different era. I'm not trying to say the era was bad, but a lot of these guys just wanted to play basketball and get paid, and think that because they had these abilities, they were going to win championships. And let's look at his career, because I find this funny right here. We're going to delve deep into his career in a minute, but I had punched in this to pretty much get a meme. And when I punched in Vince Carter failed career, this is what AI put up. Vince Carter has some career lows, but he's still considered a Hall of Famer. Yes, still considered a Hall of Famer. But when you say Vince Carter and you don't say top 75, it's just weird, because that's what you would think when you say his name. It came up with a lot of stuff, but one of the things that it came up with was roster turnover in 2004. After two straight NBA Finals appearances, the New Jersey Nets broke up the team before 2004-05 season. The team struggled out the gate with just 2 wins in 13 games. However, Carter's career was also marked by many highlights, including 2 straight NBA Finals appearances in 2002 and 2003. Hold on, wait. However, Carter's career was also marked by many highlights, including 2 straight NBA Finals appearances in 2002, 2003. What? Are they serious? So let's go to 2002. Was Vince Carter on those rosters? 2002 NBA Finals. And we'll go to the roster for the Nets. And we'll get to the rest of his career in a minute. Of course, this thing is going to take forever to load. Here we go. The Nets 2002 roster. Where's he at? He's not on here. How about the 2003 NBA Finals roster when they played the Spurs? He's not on here. So why is AI saying that Vince Carter went to 2 straight finals? Vince Carter came on in the next year in 2004. The players that got those teams to 2 straight finals was Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, I think Kenyon Martin, and Richard Jefferson. So what is AI talking about? AI is supposed to be right on the spot with this. You guys tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't see no Vince Carter on the Nets roster, and it says he came in 2004 anyways. So let's look at this. Let's look at his career and his awards. I mean, seriously, guys, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was this bad. So we know he came in the '98 season out of Carolina, and he went to Toronto, and I think he did. Yeah, he made the All Star team the second season in the NBA. So 8-time All Star from 2000 to 2007. That's it. That's it, folks. That's it, folks. He played until 2020. Do you understand? Didn't make an All Star team in the 210s. In the 210s. What? That's crazy. And didn't make an All Star team 3 years in the 2000s. 8, 9. Well, that would be 2. All NBA second team one time, 2001. All NBA third team one time in 2000. Rookie of the year, 1999. Rookie first team, 1999. NBA dunk contest winner, 2000. Teammate of the year in 2016. NBA Sportsman Award in 2020. And that's it. That's all he has in the NBA. That's it, folks. Now, if we want to go down here and look at, the Olympics, 2000, he won gold. FIBA, 2003, he won gold. Put up 27,000 points, or 25,000 points, 6,000 rebounds, 4,000 assists. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's going to make the College Hall of Fame. I don't know. I think he was a one and done. 16 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 3 assists. And I'm gonna tell you guys, this 16 points per game, it is 16 points. It's like that. When you say 16 points per game, but 25,000 points, it's because this guy would not sit down. He kept playing and kept playing. I think he played like 20 years or something like that, or more than that. Let me see. 20. I think he played like 22 seasons. Yeah, it's because he won't stop playing. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But when we look back at this resume, this has to be one of the most disappointing careers of all time. Now, he did have a couple years he was injured, but still, they weren't major injuries, folks. Yes, they were injuries to where he missed some games. One season, he missed the whole damn season. That was at the beginning. I think was that his second year. But for the most part, a lot of these seasons where he just played half seasons, a lot of nagging injuries, but not injuries to stop his career from greatness in the playoffs and stuff like that. And we'll talk about this in a minute. Because he did play 22 seasons. You can't blame it on injuries, and you're out there playing 22 seasons. That's ridiculous. Yeah, no all NBA first teams. Can you imagine that, folks? No all NBA first teams. One all NBA second team. And one all NBA third team in those 2000s. Wow. Wasn't Vince Carter a shooting guard? Shooting guard, small forward. I mean, who was really better at the shooting guard? I guess we would have to go back and look. But in small forward, I guess you could say, if he played in the East, LeBron. But there's 3 all NBA teams. 3 all NBA teams. 3. That's awful, folks. No defensive teams. 0 defensive teams. That's crazy. Even LeBron, who don't even play no defense, is making defensive teams. That's nuts. No statistical titles. 0 statistical titles. Didn't lead the league in rebounds, steals, points, nothing. folks. And while we keep talking about this guy had the ability of Michael Jordan, the pure, unfiltered, no chaser, God given talent of Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant didn't even have that. Kobe Bryant didn't have Michael Jordan ability. He wasn't a natural like Michael Jordan. Yes, he had hops. Yes, he had flair. But Vince Carter, are you kidding me? Vince Carter had the hang time. That's one thing Kobe Bryant never had. He didn't. He could do spectacular dunks, and he was gifted because he practiced the fadeaway and stuff like that. And he was the closest thing to Michael Jordan, but he really didn't have that hang time like Michael Jordan. Vince Carter did. So that's pretty much his resume in a nutshell. Folks, he's lucky to make the Hall of Fame. He's really lucky to make the Hall of Fame because you can say those a lot of those All Stars is based on popularity. If this guy made the Hall of Fame, it should be a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that I think had better resumes. Now, were they better than Vince Carter? In God given talent? No. And let's just move on because I want to look at other stuff with Vince Carter as far as his career. And we're going to check out his stats right here. Let me see if I can get an overall view because they're trying to give me only his stats with one team. Here we go. Now I was kind of shocked. So let's go to we're going to get into all this. First season 50 games, next season 82, next season 75, next season 60, next season 43, next season 73, next season 77, next season 79, next 82, next 76, next 80, next 75, next 73, and now he pretty much turns into a dinosaur. When he went to Dallas, I didn't. Hold on, who is TOT? What team is that? TOT. Where'd he go after he left Orlando? I don't know what TOT is. Then he goes to Dallas in 2011, 2012. He just missed that championship. He plays 61 next year in Dallas. He plays 81 next season. Dallas 81, Memphis 66, Memphis 60, Memphis 73, 53 in Sacramento, and then he rounds it out with the Hawks. So really, he didn't really have no significant injuries except for like a couple years. But nothing to stop him from being a great player. Before we move on, I think them breaking up Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter was that was criminal, and they kind of did it to themselves because they wanted these big contracts. But man, that we see that these guys couldn't lead a team anywhere. Even Tracy McGrady, if you really want to think about it, it can rival what Vince Carter became too. Kind of a failed career. I think Tracy McGrady was a better leader. Tracy McGrady had crazy ability, crazy skills, but I think Vince Carter had even more. So points per game, rookie season 18, next season 25, next season 27, next season 24, next season 20, next season 22, next season 24, 24, 25, 21, 20, 20, 16, 14. And that's when he started going to Dallas. He just started going downhill with the points. He was pretty much out of his prime. This is what I want to look at right here. He basically averaged one steal a game. In his prime, pretty much gave you point in his prime, probably about 0.9 blocks. Field goal percentage in his prime, it really never peaked 50%. It never went to 50%. I think one year, no, it was basically in his prime about 45%, about 45%. But he ended up shooting for his career 43%. A lot of years, he was 43, 42, 43. It won a real good field goal percentage. I mean, you could say he played in the 2000s, so, it was basically, around what Allen Iverson was shooting, Kobe Bryant was shooting in his prime, and whatever like that. And he was a guard. Now, 3-point percentage, he was pretty decent. He shot in the 40s a lot of years, 38% a lot of years, 36, and he ended his career 37%. So he was a good 3-point shooter, especially at the end of his career. Was a decent free throw shooter. Ended up at basically 80%, and that's because he played for so long. Just like if he probably would have played like 15 years, he would have shot the three maybe at 38, 39% for his career. He was a good 3-point shooter. So this is what I want to get into. I want to get into his playoff stats. And I was just like floored away when I seen these stats. And because we never, when we talk about Vince Carter, we never be like, man, where's those clutch moments in the playoffs for Vince Carter? How about the finals moments? That guy never went to the finals. And here AI is telling us that this guy went to the finals. Oh, God. Let me see what's going on with this thing, man. Vince Carter playoff. This thing is slow today. I don't know why. Yeah, but here AI is telling us that Vince Carter went to back-to-back finals. Man, this thing's acting crazy. And you want to expect something like that from AI, man. That's crazy because usually AI is like spot on about it. So he averaged 18 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 88 games. So with Toronto in 99, 2000, 19 points, next year 27, next year 26, next year 29, next year 22, next year 15. This is when he's in Orlando. And then it just starts to go down. 8, 12, 6, 11, 9. When he went to Dallas and Memphis, and when he was with New Jersey, I think hold on, New Jersey. I think didn't he miss the playoffs that first year with Jersey, right? I'm not sure. But with New Jersey, he put up first year 28, next year 29, next year 22. That year he put up 22 is when LeBron James went to the finals. He put up 22, 6 and 5. And this is what I want to look at right here. From the first playoffs all the way down to the last one. So that would be the 2000 playoffs with Toronto all the way until 2017 with Memphis. And look at this field goal percentage, folks. 2000, 30%. Next season, the playoffs, or what am I talking about? 2000, 30%. Next playoffs, 43%. Next, 36%. Next, 46. Next, 39. Next, 40%. Next playoffs, 29% field goal percentage. Next, 45. Next, 40. Next, 45. Next, 47. Next, that's it. So his field goal percentage in all his playoff games, total of 41%. And actually, it will be lower. Where was he at his last 2 seasons? With Memphis. When he shot 47 and 45. But that was on only 8 touches, or 8 attempts and 7 attempts. Wow. Let's look at his 3-point percentage because he was pretty good in the regular season. But in the playoffs, per year in the playoffs, 10%, 41%, 31%, 24%, next season 38, next season 23, next season 30, next season 48. Next season 25. Next season 70. But he only shot like two. Um, Next season 40. Next season 33. So what I'm saying is, this guy has some, especially in his prime, he has some bad shooting in the playoffs. When you look at 10%, 31, 24, 23, 30, 25. And that pretty much tells the tale with this guy, man. He ends up a -7 for his playoff career. That's it. Especially when he was out of his prime. Probably was losing all of them finals. But yeah, man, this Vince Carter's career is to me one of the most disappointing careers of all time. I mean, you guys can try to cut it how you want to cut it, but and maybe you guys can tell me some of his great highlights, but I don't remember too many. Here go Bleacher Report. Vince Carter is being treated very unfairly. The treatment Vince Carter is getting from the fans in the media right now is very unfair. When was this? Oh, this is 2010. Unfair, and the critiques most are Vince Carter haters are saying don't really make sense. The media has bashed him throughout his career, saying things like he doesn't have a heart, he doesn't work hard, he is a choke artist, he is selfish, he needs to drive more, he needs to shoot less. It is all hate. And Vince, like Kobe and Iverson, has been misunderstood throughout his career. Yeah, the fact is, this was written in 2010. I don't know what month. What is this? May? Yeah, Kobe would go on to win back-to-back titles. He had just won one championship, beating the Kings' opponents. And Allen Iverson, at least he took a bunch of nobodies. We could say a bunch of nobodies for the most part to the finals in one game one in LA. What did Vince Carter do? Kobe was part of 3 straight championships, and the last 2 in LA, or the last 2 with Shaq. He played a big part in the West playoffs. You take Kobe off those teams, they're done. They're done. By the time Kobe's third finals run, this dude was unstoppable. We act like Kobe just, as soon as Shaq left, we act like Kobe just came alive. What are we talking about? Kobe was unstoppable. I want you to go look at Kobe's highlights. I don't know what year that would be. What would that be? 2000, 2002? 2000. Yeah, look at Kobe's 2002 highlights. Man, this dude was off the chain. I'm not talking about just the finals. I'm talking about that whole season. He was ridiculous. In a year, they what was it? Well, from since then, this dude was on a whole different level from everybody else. On that three-peat championship year, Kobe Bryant was on a whole different level from everybody else from that season, the three-peat Lakers season, all the way until basically 2010, or you could say 2011 too. He was just on a different level from everybody else, folks. Even though Kobe didn't play all his career in the 90s, imagine a guy like Kobe Bryant being benched coming into the league his first, couple seasons? That's crazy. And they told him, you got to work for what you got to earn what you get. You got to earn it. You got to earn your spot. Based on defense, based on offense, based on knowing the playbook. He wasn't allowed to come in like LeBron James and say, this is my team. This is how I want it ran. And missed the playoffs 2 seasons in a row and then rearranged the Lakers team. Kobe Bryant, he could have went to I think he got drafted to the Hornets if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte drafted him. And to me, Kobe would be in my top 5. I think he would if he would have went to Charlotte. But because he basically had to start his career late because he went to LA, was already a contending team, and he had to prove he was better than Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, and he wasn't. He just wasn't at the time when he came into the. He just wasn't better than him. He just wasn't. There was nothing that could show. Like if LeBron came into the league in that time and he couldn't shoot and he couldn't play defense, or him what we were playing small forward, he ain't gonna be able to stretch the floor and shoot from the mid range. What defense is he really gonna play? He's a poor defender coming into the league. So he probably would have to sit on the bench. What's he gonna play? Power forward? I don't really know. Is he gonna be able to defend in the paint? I'm sure he can get you some rebounds, yes, at that height. But he'd be down there battling dudes. He would have to play great defense on great power forwards. He would have to give you some paint work as a power forward. He would have to face up and shoot the mid range as a power forward, whether it's in the paint or right outside the paint. I mean, he would have a big problem, man. He wouldn't be coming in the league calling himself the king. That would be over. It would be over. No, nobody would play that back in the day. You're playing little games. You're playing kids games when you come into the league calling yourself the king. Just won't. I don't care if the media gave him that name. Well, scratch it. You won't be able to do that. If you did something like that, your career might end up as a bench player because they will be clowning you in the 90s. So I don't know why they're trying to compare him in 2010. What by 2010 what Kobe was doing versus what Allen Iverson was doing. We're talking about statistical titles. We're talking about MVPs. We're talking about all NBA first teams. We're talking about all NBA defense. Vince Carter wasn't a part of none of that. And that's another thing I forgot to talk about. Where's the MVPs for Vince Carter? You let LeBron James at 22 years old beat you and go to the NBA Finals, and you had Jason Kidd on that team. Jason Kidd went to 2 straight finals with Kerry Kittles and Richard Jefferson. How do these critiques hold on. How do these critiques know Vince isn't working hard? You can't have over 19,000 career points and average 22 points per game for your career. I mean, 22 points is good. It's not great. It's not upper echelon. How is LeBron James at that point averaging 27? Some years he averaged 30 in the 2000s. 28. How's he averaging basically 27 points per game in the 2000s? And Vince Carter is averaging 22.9. Those are Scottie Pippen numbers, bro. That's not going to get it. $22 points per game for your career, or be the greatest entertainer in league history simply because you are gifted. Hold on, let's go back. In average 22 points per game, let's go back to the beginning. How do these critiques know Vince Carter isn't working hard? You can't have over 19,000 career points and average 22.9 points per game for your career, or be the greatest entertainer in league history simply because you're gifted. It takes hard work and dedication. You just said it right there. Greatest entertainer in league history simply because you're gifted. That's it right there, folks. This guy was gifted. That's it. He was gifted. Michael Jordan was gifted. Michael Jordan in the 80s could have just been Michael Jordan in the 90s. And he still would have had a better career than Vince Carter. But when I'm talking about not raising his level of play to win championships and be the best in the 90s, it to most of us, with Michael Jordan's ability, if he didn't win championships, who cares about the steals titles, the scoring crowns, and the MVPs? To most, it would have been a failed career. Michael Jordan didn't win no championships. What about Kevin Durant, right? If he would have never went to the Warriors, we would have been talking about maybe a failed career. He went and got 2 cheap rings. What about LeBron James? He went and got cheap rings. So, I mean, that's a whole different subject. Maybe that's what Vince Carter should have did. But that's not the rings. Like I said, it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about No All NBA first teams, only two All NBA teams. No defensive teams, no MVPs, no statistical titles. Um, how do these people know Vince Carter didn't hit the weight room in his prime? Were they just in the rafters training facility in 2001 every day waiting for Vince to come through? I'm not going to do a bunch of dumb stuff. Here's something down here. I think Shaq's name is in it. The people saying these things about Vince are people who haven't ever played the game of basketball. You ain't got to play the game of basketball, bro. All you got to do is go out and look at these guys play. Well, so if we ain't played the game of basketball, most people who watch basketball, yes, they didn't play in the NBA, most of them, but guess what? We went on the court. We might have played in the YMCA. We might have played in school. We might have played in, college or something like that. So let's stop watching the game because we never played in the NBA. I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing you ever heard. Um, no, they said ever played a game of basketball. People that don't know what it takes and how hard it is to do what he has done in his career. What has he done? We told you after 2007, he never made an All-Star team. Um, Fellow NBA players have all had good things to say about Vince Carter. Oh, Shaq was asked once who is one of the players he wants to play with more than any other player. He said Vince Carter. Kobe Bryant once questioned about Vince's lack of work ethic, and he replied, "How can you do all the things he does out there and not work? Come on, man." Um, Allen Iverson in an interview with Stephen A. Smith, people say Vince don't got heart. Laughs at that, man. Let me play with Vince. These are the guys that are some of the greatest to ever put on an NBA jersey, and they are saying good things about Vince. Um, I don't know if we want to keep. I never even read this. Um, Look, man, it's not really about championships. I keep trying to tell you that. There's a lot of great players, who put up statistical titles, led the league in rebounds, steals, blocks, points per game. Um, you can point back and look at a lot of clutch moments in the playoffs um, for these players, or in the NBA Finals, even though they lost, them being a team leader. Um, it just ain't there with Vince Carter, guys. All we remember this guy is a dunker. That's it. And maybe he should have won about 3 dunk contests. I don't know. In his prime, he looks like he put up about 25 points per game. That's not bad in the regular season. But in the playoffs, nah. He was choking it up, man. Especially when we look at his points. Um, we look at his field goal percentage. It's awful. It's awful. Um, I'm not. When he left the Nets, I think it was pretty much over. Let me see something right here. I want to see how long he played with the Nets. So he played with the Nets 2004 to 2009. So that was basically it, guys. Because he came in 1998. So if we say all the way until 2009 was his last year with the Nets, it was over for him. Came in and played 98 through 2004 with the Raptors. He should have stayed with McGrady. And in 2004 to 2009, he went to the Nets. It was basically over, man. That was the prime of his career right there. 2009 and 2010, 1 year with the Orlando Magic, 1 year with the Phoenix Suns. What does that tell you guys? Back-to-back years, he only played 1 year with the Magic and 1 year with the Suns. They didn't want him. He went to the Mavs. We all know what happened there. He became a three-point shooter. He came a year after they won the championship. So he thought he was going to jump on that bandwagon and win a championship, right? But he might have came over there and messed up the chemistry. I think he played over there for 3 years with the Mavs. 2014 through 17 with Memphis. 1 year with Sacramento. Um, and 2 years with the Hawks. Now, after Dallas, from 2011 through 2014, I don't even remember Vince Carter. I really don't even remember this guy in the league. Because he was putting up all these 5 points per season, 7 points per season. And they were really touting this guy like, oh, how's he still doing it? Vince Carter still playing 19, 18 years. Yeah, he was just in the league. He wasn't doing nothing spectacular. He wasn't making no all-star games. He wasn't putting up no statistical titles, no all-NBAs, no defensive teams. I don't even remember him with the Suns that much, right? He played that 1 year, 2010 through 2011. I do remember him with the Mavs now, but it he wasn't doing that much there. He was just a spot up shooter. But yeah, basically when he left Orlando, it seemed like I thought he was in Orlando for longer. I mean, because when he went to Orlando in 2009, I mean, the hype behind this guy was so big. Like, yeah, man, this and that and that and this. Um, and nothing ever happened. He played for one season. So again, from '98 to 2000, he played with Toronto from '98 to 2004, and from 2004 to 2009 with the Nets, and that was pretty much it, folks. And I'm talking about that was this guy's prime, and he basically did nothing. He basically did nothing. Never made an All-Star team after 2007, and he played all the way until 2020. It's just disappointing, and he's a borderline Hall of Famer to me. And if you're going to put Vince Carter in there with his resume, again, let's take out the 8-time All-Star, right? We'll get back to that in a minute. But one All-NBA second team, one All-NBA third team, and let's tell you the year. One All-NBA second team in 2001. That's early in his career, bro. That's like 3 years in. One All-NBA third team, that's like 2 years into his career. That's it. You got Rookie of the Year in 99. In the All-NBA rookie first team. That's in 99. That's it, folks. That's it. If you want, 2000 Slam Dunk Contest. Sportsman Player of the Year. No, I mean, Teammate of the Year. That's in 16, man. That's nothing. Get out of here. And what was it? NBA Sportsmanship Award in 2020. Come on, man. So, yeah, 8-time All-Star. Did he really deserve to be an All-Star in 2007? Yeah, maybe. But it's a very disappointing, man. It's very disappointing. You could say a lot of them All-Stars might have been, not a lot of them, but maybe one or two might be like, popularity. Just a disappointing career. I think Tracy McGrady. Let me look at Tracy McGrady real quick. Tracy McGrady. Okay, 7-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team. At least he got NBA first team. 3-time All-NBA second team. 2-time third team. 2-time scoring champion. And I guess most improved player in 2001. Right. And Tracy only played 13 seasons. Oh, no. He played 16. 15. So it's just great. No, and what I was saying earlier, he ended up averaging 19, pretty much 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. But the thing about it, when we was talking about Vince Carter, 16 points per game, that's not really indicative of his prime. A guy scored 25 points in his career, he destroyed it in longevity. And I don't know what he kept playing for, because after he left, I would say the Mavs, it was over. This guy he wasn't playing on no championship teams or nothing like that. He wasn't going to win no championship. So he pretty much destroyed his points per game. 16. If you look at somebody scoring 16 points per game in the Hall of Fame, I guess, I mean, with his skill set, I guess if it's maybe John Stockton, but John Stockton did other stuff. It was, of course, better than Vince Carter, but that wasn't his number one thing, scoring. So yeah, a failed career, a disappointing career. And like I said, if he would have retired a lot sooner, maybe 15 years, he probably would have been up to 20, 22 points for his career, because he was about 25 in his prime. But you guys tell me what you think. Vince Carter, human highlight reel. No. What they call him? That was Dominique. Oh my God, I forget what they call Vince Carter. Vinsanity, that's what it was. Vinsanity. Yeah, he was a disappointment. I think a lot of. Let me look at this one more time. Let me see how many years he played in college. No, he played in college 3 years, 95 through 98. So I can't blame it on that. A lot of this stuff I forget, man, because I hated North Carolina, but oh, what was it 95? Yeah, that was a time when Duke was pretty. They weren't that good, I don't think, in 95. But let me think, was Grant Hill still there? Yeah, I think he was there when Vince Carter was playing. I don't know. I don't want to start talking about that. Um, yeah, he was Mr. Basketball in Florida. He done was All American, and he was all that in college, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. That article, it don't make no sense what they were saying. I mean, yeah, you might have been thinking some of that sometimes back then, but now when you look at the overall career, these guys were dead on, dead on. And by 2010, his career was over, bro. It was basically over. We said when he left, what or New Jersey, it was over. His prime was over. Tell me what you think.